Welcome back to the channel. This week on the Kiwi Barefoot Gardener, I get in the first of my early potatoes for the season, and I finally get around to tackling the wildflower explosion in the front garden, thinning them out and making sense of the area. Come potter with me. My name is Dawn and I am the Kiwi Barefoot Gardener. Good afternoon. Well, it's Tuesday the 30th September. It's about 1:30, 1:45 in the afternoon, but daylight saving came in on Sunday, so I suppose really it's only about 12:45, which is good because I'm a bit behind myself today. Just didn't get things done quite in the timely manner I'd hoped. So the weather over the next few days is meant to be a bit stink. Tomorrow they're even forecasting snow on the hills around us, but what my plan today is to actually put my spuds in, my earlies. And it being cold and snowy tomorrow won't matter because they'll still be tucked up in the ground. It's only if we get frosts after they start poking their heads up that it'll become a problem. But it shouldn't be a problem because I'll be protecting them. So I bought my seed potatoes ages ago, probably a good 6 weeks ago or more, and I've been chitting them since. And while there is two schools of thoughts whether you need to chit or not, I'm just an old-fashioned girl and I like chitting. There is some theory that by chitting your earlies, which is these are my first potatoes, that it does give them a wee bit of a leg up in the start. Other people say that you don't need to chit them at all, but you also generally thought that you don't have to really worry about chitting your main crop ones, which will be going in next week as I get time to do it. I usually do them around the beginning of October, especially my earlies, because I like to have them ready for Christmas. These buds have chitted really well. I got two types of earlies and only one main crop, mainly because the bag of main crop I got was so big. I had intended to get two varieties of that, but I couldn't get a smaller bag, so I ended up getting what I did. But my earlies have definitely chitted. They're very soggy, but they've got good sprouts on them, so it'll be hopefully a good start to them. There doesn't seem to be any buggly wugglies on them, which I have been checking regularly for, but yeah, no, it's good. And I'm just trying to think which ones these are. I'll have a look. These are my Swift, so I'm going to pop them in, and hopefully in 12 weeks time roughly I will have spuds for Christmas Day, which will be nice. I don't grow spuds to sort of last me all year. I haven't got enough room for it. Would love to, but I just don't have enough room for it. But I do like to have, like a lot of people, my new spuds for Christmas Day and around that time. And then my main crop are usually ready mid-February, early March. So it's another taste of something good to have. So this year, like last year, I'm doing my spuds in pots, and I'll bring you down in a bit and show you. Last year I had a few problems with my pots. I'd gone for the 30 litre pots, and that in themselves was good amount of room, everything like that. My problem was mainly with the watering, and what I was finding was that the top half was drying out, but when I actually harvested and what have you, I could see that the bottom half had been wet right around the whole growing season, and that had affected the spuds to a certain extent, especially ones further down. I had put my pots in trays, the saucers that they come with, or you buy separately because it's a good way of getting extra money out of you. So this year I'm going to try them without, and I may even raise them up a wee bit. I've got a whole lot of milk bottle tops that I used. I don't know how effective that will be. They might just crush them with the way that they do it, but even if it just raises it up ever such a wee bit, it should hopefully allow for better drainage. The pots do actually, the drainage holes are in ridges, so they're not flat against the ground. The pots have got little ridges all through into the middle, and the actual drainage hole comes out in the ridge, the top of the ridge. So yeah, it shouldn't actually need the bottle tops, come to think of it. It's probably just a waste of time and effort. But I'm going to go through the pots. I've left the dirt in there from last year. Going to add a wee bit of potato fertiliser, only because I've got potato fertiliser. I'm not sure where it came from. I think it was a hand-me-down from someone else who had left the area and was cleaning out. So I might as well use it. And I'm going to reuse some of the dirt from last year. It won't be completely spent, but what I'll do is I'll divide it up, and I'll show you all that, what I'm going to do, because it's at the moment the pots are sort of like 3/4 full, which are way too heavy and full for the start of it. I've got my potatoes down the side alley nearest the back garden for the earlies, and I've got them raised up off the shingle because that's what we've got down the alley, pavers and shingles. I've got them raised up on leftover sleepers from when we put the beds in. So they, in theory, get plenty of sunshine and light and everything like that, which is good. My rationale for raising them up was because the shingle gets damn hot in the summer, and I didn't want the pots getting any hotter than they already were, and my potatoes ending up with root burn. That was my rationale anyway. But I did get the majority of the pots for the earlies are like either green or red, so they're not black. But my pots for my main crop, I have got a mixture of red and black, only because that's all I could get. My biggest problem with having the pots down the side alley is this is a wind tunnel for the easterly, and it can really rip down here, unfortunately. So what I have tried to do is get some sort of barrier between the wind and them. So for the earlies, they're on this side of the big air conditioning unit we've got up against the house. I don't know how much it actually shelters them, but they did seem to come off better last year than the ones on the other side, which were my main crop. And this year what I'm going to try and do is protect the main crop by using one of the Bunnings planters with a couple of great big stakes in it with some windbreak, and see if that helps. Because well, I'm going to try. I'm not sure if it's going to work out, but we'll have a go. The other thing I did last year was for my pots, I only planted 2 potatoes per pot, and I think they probably could have gone 3 potatoes easy because they are big pots. I did get a reasonable crop from them, but I think I probably could have got better. So that's my aim this year, to see if I can improve my crop outcome. Right, so what I'm going to do in a minute is I'm going to go and gather everything together and then bring you down and show you what I'm up to. Okay, so we've moved position, and in between time I've also had the family come out and do a wee bit of work. So I had one row up on the sleepers, and looking at the amount of spuds I've got for my earlies, the swifts plus the other ones, I'm actually going to need 2 rows of pots. And because I want to do them all in this area, I've pushed this back up against the house a bit. I will get told off, I promise you, I will get told off for having them up near the house. And then another row here. So, and as it's only for 12 weeks, and then I can tidy them up and what have you, it's not the end of the world. Now, 3 of these pots have got dirt in them, and so I'm going to half empty them out and fill up the others and mix in some sheep pellets and some potato fertiliser, and then put in my spuds on top of the old dirt, and then I'll top them off with some new stuff that I've got. Yeah, so, and the red, the green, red, it's just because the green ones had the dirt in them, so there's no real logic in that. So I'm going to quietly work away at this. I'll keep the camera running for a bit, and we'll do a bit of speedy and go from there. So all good. Okay, so I've got the first 2 pots done. Now I'll bring you down in a second and show you the depth. Now, there's a lot of stuff online, and I've been looking at it to make sure that I'm doing it right, even though I've been growing spuds for years and years and years, mainly in ground. A couple of times previously I've done them in buckets or bags, but since I moved my fruit, canes, my gooseberries and currants, to the bed that I used to do my spuds in, mainly because there's a fence gone up now and they won't get enough sun. So I always mounded my spuds up when they were in beds. Doesn't matter if they were earlies or main crop. But recently I was watching something on YouTube, and someone said, oh, you don't need to mound up your earlies. You just plant them as is and off they go. And I was like, okay. So I've done a bit more research around it, and there doesn't seem to be anything that says yay or nay either way. So as I'm an old girl and I like to do things the way I used to do, unless there's actually a huge amount of evidence saying that I'm doing it wrong or I should do it differently, I'm going to do what I've always done because it has worked for me. So I have filled the buckets, these 2 red ones that I've started on, about a third full of dirt. So there's a mixture of old compost that I've got out of one of the buckets. I've mixed in a wee bit of potato fertiliser and some sheep pellets, given a good mix around. The dirt from the old bucket was a wee bit dry, a bit hydrophobic, so I've given a good bash around and mulch around and water in between. And then I've just dumped a very small amount of new compost on top of that. Now I'm going to put my spuds in, and then I'm going to pop some over. And then as they come through and you get the green leaf, I'm just going to cover them as I would normally do I've done for all my spuds forever. But you know, if you just want to bung your earlies straight in and not go through the whole effort of mounding up, because you do have to remember, apparently it's okay. Main crops, they keep telling me though, are different on the thing that I did see. Main crops do need to be started low and mounded up. When I was doing them in the beds, what I would do was I'd dig a trench and mound on either side, so I'd have a big hollow up like that, rolling hill type thing, and plant my spuds in the trench and just put enough over to start them off. Then I would just cover them as they came up. I just bring the dirt up to level, giving them the first so-called mound up, and then as they got to be bigger, I would then dig the bit in between them up over, so then I would mound them like that. So that always worked well for me, except for when the cats dug them the other way. But anyway, we won't go through that. But the buckets in some ways are easier because you can just third fill, pop your spud in, then just bit of dirt over, and then just keep filling them up. Makes it a lot easier. You just got to remember to do it, and of course to water them, because they will dry out a lot quicker than in-ground spuds. Sorry, I know my head's a bit cut off, but it's the best I can do at the moment. Right, I'm going to get the spuds and do that, but right, I got distracted. Someone came around. Right, so I was just about to plant my potatoes, but just wanted to talk to you about them a bit. These ones are simple because they've got chits on them, and they have chitted really well. They're very soggy, so hopefully they'll be good seed spuds. But basically you're just planting your potato seed up, chit up, so then that's it. Fairly simple. These are nice-ish. They're just starting to get a wee bit big, chits, but they're okay. I'm just going to have to be careful when I cover them that I don't break the chit off, because once that's broken, that's it. You certainly, as most people know, that if you find the old spud in the bottom of the cupboard and it's got those big long white ones on, yeah, they can go in the garden, but the main reason why they don't work particularly well is because they've got long spindly chits that often break, so that's the big thing. But if you can get them into the garden without breaking off all of the chits or most of the chits. Yeah, they're fine too. You can get some really yummy ones. Some people say that is find the old spud in the compost. Compost spuds are good. Same with compost pumpkins. They're just feeding off the nutrients that the compost is making, so they're often really quite tasty. But we'll go for this. Okay, so there's my spuds in there, just sitting there, and I'm just going to cover them up with a bit of dirt in a minute, and then that's it. I'm only going to put those 6 in at the moment because I keep getting disturbed by people wanting to talk to me and things like that. Plus the wind's getting up and this is a wind tunnel, so I might go off around the other side of the house in a few minutes and explore what needs doing around there outside of this wind. All done, watered, labelled with the date on so I remember when they can come out. Only ended up getting the 2 buckets done, as I said, just because it's one of those days, nothing's gelling. Everyone wants to talk to me, so yeah, constantly getting interrupted. But yeah, happy with those, and I'll just keep an eye on them, and hopefully I'll get the rest of them done this coming week. But yeah, now see if I can find somewhere a wee bit less windy and just enjoy myself doing a bit of weeding and planting. But I'll take you with me. Just as an aside, when I'm talking about deep watering, this is what I'm talking about: sitting your stuff in a tray and letting the water come up from the bottom. Yes, this is a giant cat litter tray. Never been used for the cats, but I bought it for this because it's easy for me to haul around and it's got a lower front, so it's easy to get things in and out of. And I just let things sit there for about 20 minutes, drain them, and off we go. So it does well. Okay, so I've headed around to the front of the house and I'm going to try and catch up with some of the stuff that I've been putting off for one reason or another, or just not had time to do. And my first one is the lemon balm. It's a lovely plant, but boy does it get away. So it's going to have a massive haircut in a few minutes and tidy that up. I'm not sure if you can see in the background there these beautiful aquilegia that are really coming out beautifully. So tidy this up because, as I've said in the past, you really don't want to overwhelm your fruit tree. While it's great having the stuff around it, and it's not a problem to have stuff growing around it and near it, you just need to make sure that the graft area is kept clear and that it can stay nice and dry and doesn't get wet. Other than the normal rain and what have you, but it just doesn't stay wet and soggy. So this is going to get a haircut. I'll keep some of it and make a tea or something out of it, but most of it, unfortunately, is just going to end up in the compost. It is what it is. It'll come away. I've cut it right back to the base before, and it's just, as you can see, taken off. So here we go. Done. So I'm quite happy with that. And I've got a fluffy visitor. I don't know if he's going to come over. Come here. Come and say hello. This isn't mine. He's wandered off. He may or may come up. He's a bit skitty. He's the fluffy friend of the boys, and he visits quite frequently. Often partakes in the catnip, but yeah, it's fine. He does no harm. And he's very beautiful. So the important thing that I was trying to do was to clear the graft just there, which it's done. And this tree, for just having been planted about 8 weeks, no, maybe longer, 9 weeks, 10 weeks, is doing well. It's got lots of leaf. I'm not expecting anything much out of it this summer. As long as it sort of puts some leaf out, gets a chance to establish, I'll be very happy. It's on a area that gets a lot of morning sun and afternoon sun in the summer, not so much during the winter, but that's okay. It should do okay. But I'm still absolutely thrilled with these beautiful aquilegia. I'll try and get a photo of them and put it up. So I've moved on to the box that's the middle of the 3 closest to the long box. and it's completely overgrown with, not weeds, but with self-sown stuff. So I need to really give it a good clean out. Give this a bit of a haircut and just pull out some of this other stuff that seems to have taken over, because I need to clear the graft site for that tree there, which is one of the plums. So yeah, going to be working on that. I did find a weed. They're everywhere. So I'm just working my way around clearing out some of the excess self-sown seeds and what have you. These are blue cornflowers that are just about to come out. I've got some over the other side that have just poked their heads out in the last day or two. And this just is a herb. I want to say marjoram. I think it's marjoram. I always get oregano and marjoram mixed up, but that just needs a wee haircut. It come away quite nicely again. Surprisingly how dry the soil is once you get your hands down in there. We had rain last night and it's bone dry in there, so that's another really good reason why, just to clear this excess self-sown stuff, to allow the water, the rain and what have you to actually get down there and water the other plants. So yeah, I'm just going to keep moving around here for the moment and I'll show you anything that's interesting as I go. Beautiful pink aquilegia. I've grown all these aquilegia from seed last year. I didn't get a great strike rate on them. Probably got half a dozen out of quite a few I planted, but this year they've really come into their own. They're just stunning. I've taken some still, so I'll try and pop them in with the thing. But yeah, really pleased with them. And I've got a whole lot more growing, and I've bought more seed this year. So by the by, I call myself the Kiwi Barefoot Gardener, and over winter, of course, when I started the channel, I was wearing shoes, mainly because it was just so damn wet and cold. Yeah, I had to wear them, and I'll often not wear shoes during winter, even outside, but this winter was a bit more than my tootsies could bear. But at this time of year, I'll often try and get to go out in bare feet, because that's just what I like. I grew up with bare feet. But when we built the house and had the drives put in and what have you, I had purposely said, you know, I wanted nice, soft, round aggregate stones. Well, Murphy's Law is they're anything but soft. So I'll often wear jandals when I'm out the front working in around there. But my jandals just come a cropper. Oh dear, but they are pretty buggered. I mean, that's what you get for buying warehouse stuff, but I find they're the most suitable for me. I've got another pair, so it's not the end of the world, but poor jandal, it's buggered. Anyway, upwards and onwards. I'm slowly clearing this out. I'm just going to try and get rid of a few more of these cornflower around the aquilegia to give it a bit of room. I've made sure that the graft is actually exposed, so that's good. And I'm just pulling out the excess of these. Gosh, they're beautiful, but they're prolific. They're everywhere in this bed. But what a beautiful, dainty little flower. Gorgeous. I'm in the dog cart a bit with the hubby too, because of my self-seeded flowers. So a whole lot of them down the end there where the two beds meet, they self-seeded into the lawn. And while hubby is no gardener and is not into gardening in a big way. He does like his lawn, and I've messed it up a bit with my self-seeded plants, so I'm in the dog box, but it is what it is. On that topic, one of the reasons why I haven't been able to get in and do some of these beds is that this lawn has just been so wet this year. So in the 9 years that we've been here, we've never had a winter that's been quite as wet, and this front yard has really suffered from the excess water. It is clay pan underneath, but we do have a good, oh sorry about that wind, even with the mic cover on that's going to be a bit blustery, sorry about that, typical Canterbury spring nor'west. Yes, so we've got the clay pan and we've got a good maybe a half a metre of soil at a push, maybe closer to 30 centimetres of soil underneath the grass, but yeah, it's just not been a happy year for the poor old lawn, so I haven't actually been able to get out onto the lawn much because literally it's been squelching and not wanting to damage the grass anymore. I know grass comes back, but just not wanting to make it muddy mess. So I'm just going to keep pottering along through here and do a bit more speedy and we'll hopefully get this bed done and see if I can move on to another one before it's a bit late in the day for me. Visitor, he's arrived. I've been out here for ages and he's just found me. I think he's been asleep somewhere in the undergrowth locally, but anyway, he's come to visit and check me out. He's always full of snuggles, aren't you? Hey, you're full of snuggles. Hey, okay, see you later. Oh, your mate Casper was around. I just found a couple of other plants buried under all those cornflower, and there's some poppies just popping up. There's some more here, this one, and some meadow foam, or otherwise known as poached eggplant. So I planted that last year here, so I'm just going to try and thin this lot out. I've got that quite neatly tidied up. I'm quite happy with that. Yeah, getting there. It's something, as I said, I've been putting off, but quite pleased with myself for getting it done. This wind though is a pain. I don't mind wind, but the nor'wester can be just a bit much at times. Not sure if you can see, but Lou's there and he's in the middle of the cat mint. So cat mint is a herb. It's also a weaker form probably of the stuff that catnip's got in it, and so cats quite like it. Anyway, because I was cutting away, it released some of the extra oils and things that it has in it, and he's decided now he's going to sit on it and crush it. Trouble is that when they've got, well, I don't know about other people's cats, but I know Lou and even Bo, when they get a bit high, for a better word, on cat mint or catnip, you don't put your hands near them. because you can generally lose one or a finger or something. So as I can't see on the camera whether you can see them rolling around on it, trying to break it up and enjoying the scent. Oh dear. Anyway, I'm going to move on over to the main bed now. I have been slowly weeding through, but I can see a huge weed down there that I need to pull. So I've been slowly working my way along the border and popping the fork in where I'd finished and what have you, but I haven't done anything to this for weeks and it's got away on me a bit. As you can see, it's got a huge something there. Not even sure what it is. But I need to get out all this excess stuff. It's starting to crowd out the fuchsia and the bulbs that I put in there. So, and the common thyme that I got there, while it's beautiful and the bees love it and what have you, it seeds prolifically, and I need to pull out all the extra stuff around it. I've already pulled a heap out in autumn, but there were still even more seeds that have germinated over winter, spring. So need to get it all out and see if I can tidy it up a bit. So here goes. About me done for the day. I've cleared out a good area. The big weeds defeated me, though I've taken the top out with the flower bit in it, and I'll have to either get the big fork or get someone with a bit more oomph to get it out for me. We're due rain, so that might make it easier to get it out. The bed's quite dry, even though it looked like it rained last night. But anyway, I've cleaned out the majority of the weeds, or the unwanted plants I should say, and I've cleared out the excess thyme, self-seeded stuff. So yep, I think I've done for the day. I'm going to go and crash now. I overdid it a bit yesterday. That's the thing with it's the thing with being disabled or having a chronic fatigue type thing as well. So yeah, you just got to do what you can do on a good day and try not overdo it on the really good days, which is what I did yesterday. So I am now paying for it, but that's okay. Tomorrow's meant to rain and it will be a quiet day, so no running around in the garden day. So I'll catch you on the other side. Well, it's that time of week again for a coffee and a chat. So it's been a bit of a funny old week. Every time I tried to get into getting something done, I either got interrupted or something happened. But anyway, it was a bit of bitsy old week for me. So we started off with getting some of the spuds in. I got 2 pots in. I still haven't got back to doing the rest. The weather's not playing the game, or I've been busy doing other things. So yeah, I'll have to get the rest of them in this week. Make a big effort to try and do that. As long as I get my earlies in this week, that'll be fine. Doesn't matter if the main crop are next week or the week after, but I need to get my earlies in this week. We had a really brief look at the me doing some deep watering, but at this time of year, as mad as it sounds, deep watering or watering can take me a good day or so during the week, like 2 half days, because I've got a whole lot of indoor plants that will be going outdoor once it's warm enough for them. So things like capsicums, eggplants, all that sort of thing. So they're all currently sitting inside and need a damn good water at least twice a week. And then I've got all the outdoor plants sitting on those shelves and in the greenhouse that also need watering. So that's a big time consuming thing at this time of year for me. I'm glad that I finally got some of that work done on the front border. It's been sitting there in front of me and I keep looking at it thinking I must get to it, but you know, I always want a good run at it. One of the things I find is that because it takes me a wee while to set myself up to do something, you know, get the chair out, get the buckets out, get everything, I like to do a good run at things. But as I mentioned in the earlier parts, you know, I've got to be careful also not to overdo it, which I did overdo it Monday and Tuesday a bit, doing things like actually the watering, because everything's in containers and has to be lifted and yeah, yada yada, you know what it's like. But it's rained, so I will now be able to get that big weed out and have a go at some of the other stuff, so that's good. Next week looks to be a bit more settled for me, so hopefully I'll get some of the many things that I've got planned, and I hope to be able to take you out for a wee trip this coming week, all going well. I'd just like to thank everyone who subscribed today. It's awesome, I really appreciate it. We just went over the 775 mark, which is awesome, but I am aiming to try and get to the 1000 mark by my 25th vlog, which will be in about 5 weeks time. So I'd love you to be able to share my videos with your friends and family who are into gardening and who also watch YouTube, so that they can have the opportunity to subscribe as well. So for now, I'll wind up and wish you a happy and safe week, and hope that you get plenty of gardening done in some good spring weather. But for now, until next week's vlog, it's bye from me.